Hey everyone, sorry we couldn't make it today. We're still going to get going with the lab, so we're going to talk about how to set up that lab so you can take a look at your own skin cells from your elbow. First of all, what we're going to need is our unit packet, which we have in our binders right now. We're going to flip to page 9 in the unit packet, which I'll go to right now, and I'll put up a picture of it. And it's going to talk about Lesson 1, What Am I Made Of? And this is the activity where we take some tape and we're going to get skin cells from our elbow and be able to see them under the microscope, and we're going to depict them as we do in our lab with 3 different magnifications. So let's get started on the lab. First, what we're going to do is learn how to prepare the slide. Now, in order to do this, we need to make sure that our elbow, where we're going to take our skin cells from, is completely clean. So step 1 is to make your elbow open like this, and we're going to wash it off and make sure we have no residue from our shirts or our sweatshirts or anything else that we're wearing. So we're just going to wipe it off like this, make sure that your elbow is clean and it is dry before we take our skin cells. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take our piece of tape from our fantastic frog tape, and we're going to grab a nice piece and we're going to place it right on our elbow. Now make sure to press it down. Make sure that you get every bit of that tape down to ensure that you're getting as many skin cells as possible off your elbow before we mount it on the slide. Now I'm going to peel this off nice and carefully. Don't worry, I don't need to go whop and have myself screaming here. But we're going to take this piece of tape off our elbow, just like so. And the biggest thing we need to remember is to take this piece of tape and put it sticky side up on our glass slide. So I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to bring it nice and close to the camera. I have my piece of tape. I'm going to put it sticky side up on the slide, just as so. Put it nice towards the camera. This is the sticky side. And we're going to let it rest right on that slide. Now I'm going to put this back down on the table so that I can take the tape off. Once I have this down here, we're going to move to the next part of our mounting procedure, which is to take our lovely blue solution and put 2 to 3 drops on top of the tape. Now you don't need huge drops, we don't need to douse this with blue, because it will stain clothing. So make sure we're careful when we're doing this. We're just going to unscrew this. We're going to take it and do, like we said, 2 to 3 small drops on top of our slide. Now I'm going to try and pick this up and show it to you. This is what 2 slides drops looks like. Just like that. See, and I actually have a third one that's getting on the tape right now. That's what it looks like. It's spreading all on the tape. After I do that, as in our instructions, we're going to take our cover slip that looks like this. It's in your kit. They'll all be assembled in this kit. And we're going to drop it at our 45-degree angle to the slide so that we can mount our piece of tape. So I'm going to bring it right here. I'm dropping it at a 45-degree angle, and I let it drop just like this. Now I can move it on there a little bit if I need to get it repositioned. That is okay. And we're going to end up with a slide that looks like this. Now remember, as you're doing this, this methyl blue is probably going to stain your fingers a little bit, so try not to touch a ton. Otherwise you end up kind of like a Smurf, like me, with my blue jacket on before I even get to do the lab. But that's okay, you can get a little blue on your fingers, it's easy to wash off. Now step that we're going to do next is mount the slide under the stage clips. So just like this, we're going to slide it underneath the stage clips, make sure they both are holding it on there. Now remember, before we slide things underneath our microscope, the biggest thing that we want to remember is we need to put our slide and our magnification on the lowest setting. So as we went through in the previous labs, our lowest magnification is the 4 or the red lens that's in the microscope. Now I can't move this microscope because it's currently plugged in with the light on, but remember, it is the 4 magnification or the red lens that is under the microscope. That is what needs to be under there in order to get you the most space when you're pushing your slide onto the stage clips. So going right here, you're going to see a picture of my slide mounted on the microscope. And from there, we can start the first part of the back of our sheet, which is talking about the initial magnification, 10 from our tube, right here, our ocular lens, and 4 from the red lens, which is currently hiding underneath here. From that point forward, we use our coarse and fine adjustment knobs to make sure that we can get that picture in focus. I'm not going to put up any pictures because we don't want anybody copying, but you should be able to start seeing some cells appearing on that piece of tape that are blue. Now, as you go through this and you get to your later magnifications, your higher magnifications, just like your 10 and your 40, the yellow and the blue lens, you're going to notice that some of your cells that are on the piece of tape actually will turn more blue as you wait. This is because the cells take in the methyl blue and they're actually going to absorb it and turn darker, deeper blue so that you can see them easier in the microscope. So if you don't initially see them under like the 4 magnification lens, or if we're using the 10x magnification lens, if you give it a little bit, those cells will absorb that blue and they'll actually become darker and deeper and easier to see. So from then on forward, we're just going to go lens by lens, and remember, we're going to draw each of what we see and we're going to grade it on our 4 main things. We need to make sure that we have some color and shading. We need to make sure we have texture of the background and texture of the slide. And the last thing that we need to remember is scale, because we're going through 3 different lenses, 4x, 10x, and 40x. And those combined with our ocular lens in the tube are going to give us a different scale. It's going to be more zoomed in. You're going to see more texture. So you need to make sure that you account for that in your drawings and draw exactly what you're seeing in your tape sample. Hopefully this makes sense. Remember, if you have any questions, you can follow the procedure step by step and go through this video again if you need to see anything else being mounted or put underneath the microscope. Best of luck, and we'll see you tomorrow.